Probably the last 10 years.
Right?
What's that?
I said, George was out there reading everybody like he's the president of the United States. And I said, they hated him. We didn't see him.
You don't remember?
Well, he's the only one I know. He's got long hair now. He's looking like a hippie. So maybe it was his bone pills that got him upset. I don't know. I'm giving up my grandson's championship baseball game.
Are you?
Yes, I have. But we took him golfing this afternoon, so. So pretty much drive me. So do you know a lot of these people?
No.
No, they're not coming up and
Two
saying
of them
hello
I
to you.
know. One of them. Two of them I know. Not many. What you
Hey,
say?
hi, Mark. You're up to plan. What do you want us to do?
Right. I think that one's available.
Switch to you,
Slide chair to the side.
Or you're totally. I don't think they'd like that any better.
Good evening. We will call the June 24th, 2024 business meeting in the Niagara Falls Water Board to order. If you have a cell phone number or a cell phone, I ask that you put it on silent. Anybody, is everybody signed up that would like to speak? Anybody not? We have the number of speakers.
Mr. Chairman, there are 6 public speakers signed up this evening.
Thank you. For some of you folks that are here about the healthcare, the members of the Niagara Falls Water Board, the 5 members, it's an inactionable item on our part. There will be no action taken by the board at all. It's something that's done internally, nothing to do with the members of the board at all.
Microphone on.
Are we not on yet?
The microphone not on? Are they on, Sean?
Can you hear me now?
It's coming up to check.
Oh,
Renee, are you able to hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
For you folks that are here to
now it's on.
regarding the healthcare, the 5-member board, it's an inactionable item for us. There will be no action taken by the Niagara Falls, members of the Niagara Falls Water Board. This is done internally, has nothing to do with action by the members of the board. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar? Here. Chairman Forrester?
Here.
Board Member Kimball?
Here.
Board Member Larkin?
Here.
Board Member Leffler?
Here.
Thank you. Presentations, please.
Mr. Chairman, we have two presentations on the agenda for this evening. The first is about sewer surcharge conditions, or as people tend to experience them, water backing up into basements. There is a brief document that has been posted. It's part of the packet. It's also been posted to our website that tries to explain why these conditions occur. The purpose for this presentation is to provide a refresher for the board and information to interested members of the public regarding why water sometimes backs up into basements in heavy rain or snowmelt conditions. At its most basic, the problem is that the sewer mains are only so large, and a pipe of a given diameter can only handle so much flow in a given period of time. So when the rain comes too hard and too fast, or on a hot day that melts a lot of snow, sometimes the water level rises, the pipes can't carry it all away, and it eventually comes out of basement drains. For anything that I've failed to explain with respect to surcharges, and to briefly explain what we do at the Water Board when there are heavy rains forecast, I'd like to ask Operations Executive David Conti and Chief of Outside Infrastructure Mike Eagler to come up to the podium and add any additional detail that's appropriate.
Good evening, board members. So last Tuesday and Thursday, we had some events. We had some excessive rainfall. And my understanding is that by 8 o'clock in the morning, all the O&M people were gone from the Duval Conference and out in the city working on lift stations. We had alarms at 5 out of 7 of our lift stations. We had 2 bypasses, and it was an incredible amount of water. I do commend the outside maintenance personnel for getting on this quickly. Unfortunately, we did have some water backup in base. And Mr. Costello explained that rainfall event exceeded the conveyances that we have in the city. And unfortunately, we did the best we could with it. Would like to add to that?
Thank you. Any board member have any question? We'll go to public comments. First speaker, please, Mr. Costello.
The first speaker this evening is Scott Jones.
We ask that you state your name, your address, please.
My name is Scott Jones. I live at 1503 101st Street in the Falls. I worked at the wastewater treatment plant for over 30 years. I retired in 2017. I retired under a collective bargaining agreement that promised traditional Medicare as my primary and Blue Cross Blue Shield as my secondary medical insurance. In mid-May of this year, I was informed that I was being put on a private Medicare Advantage plan. This, can't read my writing, you get old, see. Right? This was a mere 6 weeks ago. And because of the short notice, this has caused caused a lot of fear and anxiety in a lot of your retirees. This is in direct violation of our collective bargaining agreement. If this was a voluntary change, we probably wouldn't be here today. But it's not. This has been forced on us. I paid for my traditional Medicare Blue Cross Blue Shield with 15.0% raises over 30 years. I did this to keep my benefit in retirement. Traditional Medicare has a vast network of doctors, specialists, hospitals. This new plan of yours will force us into Blue Cross and Blue Shields network. There will be prior approvals. If the change is made now, What will be the changes in 5 years from now? This is always in the back of our minds. If you can change it once, perhaps down the road, it can be changed again. We are not going to take this as an involuntary change. We expect you to respect our collective bargaining agreements that we all retired under. We want you to keep your hands off our traditional Medicare. Thank you for our time.
Mr. Chairman, the next speaker is Trevor Gashaw.
Good evening. I'm Trevor Ganshaw, address 3782 North Ridge Road in Cambria. I'm here, I'm Vice President of the AFL-CIO Niagara Orleans Central Labor Council. And just recently, as Scott said, we found out of a violation of a collective bargaining agreement at the Niagara Falls Water Board. So we had a couple questions, one of which is how this board was okay for 10 years agreeing to the collective bargaining agreement of giving these guys the zeros to pay for their health care. And then a few weeks ago decided we're no longer going to honor a collective bargaining agreement that us or our predecessors have agreed to for years, which these guys and gals have all worked for. I represent all of our affiliates, whether it be, there's some here tonight, the electrical workers, the steel workers, the teachers. Our organization takes care of all of them. And when we heard this, we said we're not going to stand for it. So as far as we're concerned, this is an attack on labor in all of the city and all of Niagara County. And we're going to do whatever we can to help fight this and stop this in the future. And with everything that's been going on at the water board lately with different issues that have been having with all our affiliates, we've come together, we've met with them, and we thought we had friends at the water board, and we thought we had friends in the city, and we don't. And we're here to let everybody know that going forward, elections have consequences, and we will be out, and we will be supporting people that honor their collective bargaining agreements. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the next speaker is Melinda Smith.
Hi, Melinda Smith, 2613 Fairway Drive in Niagara Falls. I guess I picked the wrong night to come here, but I did not yet see, I will when I get some kind of reception, the explanation of the sewer backup. This is my third event in 12 years, second in 3 years. There is an issue. And I understand it ranged throughout all of Niagara Falls. There is an issue east of Hyde Park that we continuously get sewer backup. This should not be happening just in one piece of the city. There's an issue. I had a very reputable plumber at my house today. By the way, I'm on vacation. I have grandchildren in from Las Vegas. I am ready for a meltdown. I should be bowling right now with my grandchildren, not here. I had Reimer Plumbing at my house today who quoted me $10,000 for a quick stop, which may help the sewage from coming up to my finished basement, which is torn up again for the third time. And he said to me, the city does not do enough to clean out this sewer system. We only have one line. He explained everything above and beyond what I ever wanted to know about your system. But one line, and it's coming and it's a 6-inch or 6 foot going into a 2 foot, whatever, all beyond my understanding. What I do understand, East Hyde Park has this continuous issue. It really should be addressed long before this rainstorm that we got last week, Tuesday. And kudos to whatever gentlemen are out on the field getting it done the day of the rain. Can we get something cleaned up? Can we get those pipes reviewed or inspected? See why it is the same area. I imagine my homeowners is gonna drop me. It's like, it's becoming a little Florida in East Hyde Park. So I would really like to see that get addressed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Costello, would you have a camera crew to inspect the sewer area in the
We will do that.
vicinity?
And I see you've written down your phone number, so someone will give you a call within the next week
Thank you.
with any information they can supply.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Smith, and one of the things is, as the water board will contact you, and you'll have the opportunity to sit in the camera truck and actually see the sewer system around your area.
Okay.
And we also videotape it for future references as well. Okay?
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, the next speaker this evening is William Ludi.
Welcome back, Bill.
Thanks, it's been a while. 32 and a half years I spent out there, outside water maintenance. I just find it unconscionable that you, as the board, can do what you're doing with us, elderly, the sick, the retirees. Okay, I don't know how you can honestly sleep at night. What is being done? You guys have no idea. Just my own instant, let alone everybody else. I've had a stroke, supposed to get a shot soon. I called today, they don't know if I'm going to get it in time. I could go blind. Because they're saying pre-approval. We've never had pre-approval. I've been getting them for 2 years, every 8 weeks. I'm gonna go blind in 9 days. So, all I can say is, that's how you guys feel like you're doing us good? Good. Sleep well tonight.
Mr. Chairman, the next speaker is Tim Heather.
Good afternoon, Tim Heater, President. Work in this plant and then city here. I just want to read
What's
section.
your address, Mr. Healy, please?
629 Ashland Avenue. Section 10.1 of the healthcare program, plan definition, tier 1. Niagara Falls Water Board will provide all qualified members of the bargaining unit with healthcare program. Healthcare program is contained in attachment F1 tier 1 through attachments F4 and G and is comprised of health and hospitalization, vision, dental, prescription, and chiropractic benefits. A qualified employee shall be defined as any full-time permanent or provisional employee of the bargaining unit permanently employed before January 1, 2008. This is the key part here. Tier 1 healthcare plan and coverage, family and single, will stay whole and in effect and cannot be changed or renegotiated by Niagara Falls Water Board management, Niagara Falls Water Board members, union representatives, or employees for the life of this agreement. That is clearly stated in a contract. Now, I'm going to remind you, right now, we're negotiating 3 contracts, 3 separate units with you guys. Why should we even bother negotiating when you guys are going to go through and change anything that's written in there and just stomp all over it? That is clear. That's plain black and white. There is no gray area in this whatsoever. Okay, I heard your speech at the beginning that this is not an actionable item by the water board. You and I know that's bull. Okay, nothing happens. You just ordered a camera crew to go to this lady's house. So you can't tell me that this is going on without your guys' knowledge. All right, that's ridiculous. 30 years, some of these people have worked. 15 years, they took 0 raises. Average it out. 2% raise for 15 years they gave up. That's 30% of their paycheck. Compounded. Not just all at one time. Compounded every year. These people sacrificed. Now you go and save up 30 years for a brand new Corvette. You got your heart set on a red one. Go to the dealer. Dealer says, "Oh no, you want the red one. The blue one's much better." No, red one. No, we got the blue one. I've saved up for 30 years for a damn red Corvette. I don't want a blue one. I want a red one. Well, that's too bad. You're going to take the blue one. That's exactly what you guys are doing to all these retirees and their families. It's ridiculous. Don't say you don't control this. This is nothing you guys have anything to do. You know better. This needs to stop. The only people that are making money off this are the lawyers. Next, it's going to be the ratepayers that are going to have to pay for this because litigation costs money. You guys aren't paying it. You're going to pay that cost under the ratepayers. So eventually, we're all going to pay for it. All because somebody wants to try and say, well, we're going to save money. They don't want your new plan. They want what they negotiated for, what they sacrificed for, what they gave up raises for. Leave them alone. Honor the contracts. Thank you.
No, not to you.
Mr. Chairman, the final speaker signed up is Dan Lowe's.
My name is Dan Rose. I live at 1137 Pasadena Avenue, Niagara Falls. And I'm trying to defend the steelworkers and the building trades. Now, everybody's here. We're all at that age where we need our medical. And try and say that you guys are not a part of this. I had a nice little chat on WJJL, and you know what? He did everything except hang up on it. And then he hung up. He, and I believe Nicholas are all in cahoots with this. And with me, I know what's going on. Building trades are gonna buck the steel workers 100%. So if you want to get on the side of the unions, you better follow what you agreed on and not change the plans. By the way you did it, just sending us a board member, sending us a new insurance policy without any kind of discussion, nothing. Where do you get the gall? Where do you get the right to do that? This is America. So you better contemplate what we're doing, because building trades will remember election time, and you will remember there. Tell them I said, thank you.
Any other speakers, Mr. Costello?
No.
Thank you. Letters and communication?
Mr. Chairman, nothing new from the work session.
Let's look at the prior minute meetings draft from May the 20th. Any changes, objections?
No, good.
Now we can move it.
I move to accept the minutes.
Second that.
Moved by Board Member Loeffler, seconded by Board Member Larkin on the question. None being heard, call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar?
Yes.
Board Member Kimball?
Yes.
Board Member Larkin?
Yes, to approve.
Board Member Loeffler?
Yes.
Chairman Forster?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. Costello?
Mr. Chairman, the only items I'd like to mention are that there is a walk-on resolution for a sewer repair on Pine Avenue. This was discussed at the work session briefly and anticipated. The bid opening was on Friday. 2 bids were received. The walk-on resolution recommends award to the low bidder. And the second item is to note for the board and the folks who are present, there was a brief mention of the water board in today's Buffalo News. It was an article about PFAS contamination at the air base and Cayuga Creek. The article correctly notes that our intake is downstream from where Cayuga Creek spills into the Little Niagara and then into the Niagara River. As noted in the article, our drinking water does not exceed EPA or New York State standards for PFAS. And to expand on that a little bit, our drinking water does not have any PFAS compound at levels which meet or exceed the maximum contaminant level for drinking water. If we did have PFAS over a maximum contaminant level, we would have to implement solutions to reduce PFAS levels by 2029, but no action is required of the water board at this time. A fact that the employees of the water board could be very proud of is that this drinking water plant has never produced drinking water that exceeded a state-established maximum contaminant level for any substance.
Thank you, Mr. Costello. Any board member have any questions for Mr. Costello?
No.
None being heard. We'll go to Operations Executive, Mr. Conti, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Little update that happened, what's happened between last week and today. Mr. Costello and I will be reviewing the Ferguson infrared testing at proceeding with that. Intermediate pump number 1 should have the new 40-foot butterfly valve installed as of tomorrow morning. Who's expanding on that? Steel was delivered out to the gorge location to repair the enclosure, and steel workers are on site. And the rapid mix tanks at the wastewater plant have been isolated. The impellers have been removed and have been shipped to Seaward for evaluation. That's all I have.
Any board member have any questions for Mr. Conti?
No.
Mr. Conti, I have a question on the infrared testing. That's going to be done by Ferguson Electric.
Yes,
And when was the last time that was done? Do we know?
I believe it was at least 2 years ago.
Mhm.
I'd like to see that done annually.
Mr. Costello, that should be an annual inspection.
Yes, and we're going to communicate with Ferguson about arc flash testing as well, the extent it may be required.
Super. Thank you. I don't have any other questions, Mr. Conti. Thank you. Engineering, Mr. Williamson, please.
Hi, good evening. We're starting to track our water main replacement project on our GIS system. We have the ability to provide water main status maps, but that will include the status of the grant application, water main design, water contracts, construction and completion of projects. And we also, on the GIS, will rank all the water mains that we were to through the we'll apply for each year. And as I mentioned at the last meeting, work session, we have a meeting tomorrow regarding the flocculation basin concrete walkway rules. Actually, I have a nice drawing on my desk there that I'm going to have at the meeting. Basically, we are trying to figure out, we're going to try to remove as much of the concrete walkway that's falling on underneath it. Issues with the chain system below. Problems or remove areas in the flock basin. And we're hoping that can be included in wastewater treatment plant project number 1 that's currently ongoing with Hull. So we'll be discussing that tomorrow. And I also want to mention that the wastewater treatment fees commit violations once again.
Super. Any board member have any questions for engineering?
No.
Mr. Williamson, I may have one, you may not have the answer. What's the progress on that we know of on project 3?
Project 3. I know we're very close. We had I was with Dave Conti, I think it was last week. We did a final walkthrough with Hull and CIR. And I think they just provided, they got to certify with the EFC to close out the project. And actually, just today, I got something from the bonding agency that Hull signed off on, basically stating that the project is complete.
Got it. Thank you. We'll go to personnel. Mr. San Lorenzo, please.
Good evening. Line item number 1 is HVAC supervisor. This would be a new position in technical services. Repair and maintain all HVAC in the locations, and this would need civil service approval. Line 2 would be the secretary. 1 would be replacing an individual who resigned, which is down under D, personnel, Jacqueline Bones. In area B, line item 1 would be the appointment of Michael Smith as a director of finance, replacing Brian Makowitz, who resigned as our director of finance. And that is it for the new employees.
Got
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. San Lorenzo. Any board member have any questions for Mr. San Lorenzo? None being heard. Does the board want to act on the personal action sheet A, B, and D? All in one?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll move to accept the personnel action sheet as.
Motion is to move the personnel action
I'll
sheet as
second.
written by board member Leffler, second by board member Larkin on the question. None being heard. Call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Board Member Leffler,
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. Joyce, on IT, please.
Good evening. There's been no significant changes since last week's work session. And just to reiterate, Darktrace and Homeland Security found no high security vulnerabilities during their scans.
That's your full report?
That's it.
Got it. Any board member have any questions for Mr. Joyce?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Smith from Finance.
The acting Director of Finance, as Mr. San Lorenzo mentioned, Brian Makowitz has left the organization and has been training me. So I really have nothing to report at this point in time, but lots to learn, lots of training to do, lots of training I've been through. Everything seems to be going well at this point in time. That's all I have to say at this point.
Got it. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Any board member have any questions for Mr. Smith? None being heard. Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
The board has had an opportunity to look at the May O&M report. Any questions on that?
No, thanks.
Okay, we'll go to safety. Mr. Ricardo, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. We did have an incident at the wastewater plant last week on Wednesday. One of the valves blew, valve number 3. It was attributed to a power surge from National Grid. The operator at the time was thrown across the room, went to occupational health, and he was just told to follow up with his doctor. And the last week, we did have a meeting with Enterprise to get Sean up to speed on the fleet program. And we'll be meeting with them next week, early July, to finalize our plans for the coming year in 2025.
Got it. Thank you.
That's all I got for today.
Any board member have any questions for safety, Mr. Ricardo?
No.
None being heard. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go to the guy who wears many hats, Executive Director and General Counsel also, Mr. Costello.
Nothing to report.
Got it. Thank you. Nothing from me. Let's go into the resolutions, please.
Mr. Chairman, Resolution 2024-06001, renewal of PERMA workers' compensation policy is found at page 20 of the packet.
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Larkin,
I'll second.
seconded by Board Member Leffler on the question. None being heard. Call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin.
Yes.
Board Member Leffler,
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
Motion passes. Resolution 2024-06002 is found at page 30 of the packet. Authorizing procurement of electric vehicle and disposal of diesel SUV.
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Larkin,
Second.
seconded by Board Member Ashklar on the question. None being heard, call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Board Member Leffler,
Yeah.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
Motion passes. Resolution 2024-06-003, procurement of Verkada hardware and services is found at page 35 of the packet.
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Kimball,
Second.
seconded by Board Member Larkin. On the question. None being heard, call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Board Member Leffler,
Yeah.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
Motion passes. The next resolution is 2024-06-004, amendment to Executive Director's Employment Agreement, found at page 41 of the packet.
I'll move it.
Moved by Board Member Loeffler,
Second.
seconded by
Second.
Board Member Larkin and Kimball. On the question. None being heard, call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Board Member Leffler,
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
Motion passes. Mr. Chairman, the next resolution is found beginning at page 44 of the packet. Resolution 2024-06-005, procurement of set of impellers for water treatment plant lead high lift pump number 2.
I'll move it.
Moved by Board Member Loeffler,
Second.
seconded by Board Member Larkin. On the question. None being heard, call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Board Member Leffler,
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
Motion passes. Mr. Chairman, there is one final resolution for this evening. It is at the last page of the board's printed packets. It was also posted to the website for anybody who is interested in reviewing. That resolution is number W for walk-on 2024-06-006, award bid for combined sewer main repair on Pine Avenue between 15th Street and Trontalone Avenue.
The chair would entertain a motion first to waive the agenda deadline policy in order to consider resolution W 2024-06-006.
Move to walk on.
Move to walk on, Board Member Larkin, seconded by Board Member Kimball. On the question. The only question I'm going to have, Mr. Costello, it's my understanding that this repair is going to be on the 1500 block of Pine Avenue by Tronalone.
Yes.
And there's some, there shall be a some sort of public function there around this time.
Yes, my understanding is that the Cristoforo Colombo Society has its annual picnic on July 11th. They have asked us if we can delay commencement of this work until after the picnic because there's a concern that the work in the street might impede access. My understanding is that Mr. Eagler is going to have the outside maintenance crews camera the street and the sewer in that location to assess its condition and whether it is feasible to wait a couple of extra weeks. The job is going to take at least a couple of weeks to complete. So if we can postpone it till after July 11th and provided the low bidder is amenable, we will certainly try to accommodate that community event.
Mr. Eagler. If we're going to delay this, and there's obviously there's no issue with it, can we just have city engineering make sure that the street's not going to cave in?
Well, what we're gonna do right now, the city has a small little plate out there. Tomorrow, we're gonna camera the line, see, make sure it didn't progress any. And as long as there's no progression, we're gonna put down a bigger plate.
Super. Got it. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the motion to waive the agenda deadline was on the floor.
Call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes to walk on.
Board Member Leffler,
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Need a resolution to move it.
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Larkin,
Second.
seconded by Board Member Ashklar. On the question. None being heard. Call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
yes,
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Board Member Leffler,
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Any board member have any new business or additional items? Reason for executive session?
I have nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Got it. Thank you. We take a motion to adjourn.
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Larkin,
Second.
seconded by Board Member Ashklar. On the question. Call the roll, Mr. Costello.
Board Member Asklar,
Yes to adjourn.
Board Member Kimball,
yes to adjourn.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes to adjourn.
Board Member Leffler,
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
The time is 5:38. This meeting is adjourned.
Wow, I don't make it to my grandson's baseball games. Good.
Thank you, Renee.
Games at 6.
See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
I understand.
Thank you.